Well, it's a secret ingredient that's making an afternoon schooner at the pub much more difficult to swallow, the dreaded beer tax.
Now, one Queensland brewery is fighting back, informing others about the realities of the tax with a tongue-in-cheek video. Take a look.
Harvested fresh from the bureaucratic minefields of Canberra, our beer tax is rated as the third highest in the world. In fact, it's getting to the point where almost half of this schooner is taxed.
Yeah, you really get the tax in this beer. So inflated and so different to the tax in wine that hasn't changed in years.
So if you like the taste of excessive tax in your beer, then you're in luck, because that tax is just going to keep going up until one day, maybe this very beer will be taxed out of existence. Ask for a change to beer excise and a fair go for every Aussie brewer.
Beer taxed out of existence, colour. Say it ain't so. For more on this, we are joined by Steve Barber and Craig Williams from Black Flag Brewing live in Coolum Beach.
G'day, lads.
Good morning to you guys. This is clever and cheeky,
guys.
this video.
Thank you. Yeah, no, appreciate it, and good morning. Thanks for having us. Guys, the video was really a kind of a tongue-in-cheek attempt at delivering a pretty important message around beer tax for Australian drinkers.
Well, something needs to be done, doesn't
Yeah.
it? I mean, how's the community responded to it all?
It's been great so far. We've the phone's been ringing off the hook. I think we've had about 100,000 views now. It's good. It's really good feedback. Everyone's getting on board with it.
How much is this hurting you guys, this tax?
Well, you know, it's interesting. I think a lot of people, I guess, didn't really realise how this beer tax works. When we brew beer, we're brewing beer today behind us, we pay a tax, and that tax is called excise. And that tax under the Bob Hawke government in the 1980s was linked to CPI. So every year, for twice a year, that tax has gone up, maybe 2%, 3%, maybe 1%, but it continues to build and build and build. And I guess what that means for the Aussie beer enjoyer, lover, is that price of that schooner keeps going up. It's impacting us as a brewery, it's impacting other brewers all around Australia, it's impacting bars, restaurants, hospitality, tourism, you name it. And what we're asking for, I guess, is some change and some reform.
Look, I was talking to Travis on the weekend. Travis has got his own beer, the Traveller, and it's very hard for any Aussie producer to even get into pubs. So I gave this great thought over the weekend when I'd had a few beers, ironically, and I thought, well, okay, what about they don't have the same tax on Aussie-produced and owned beers, because a lot of the famous beers now, the most consumed, are owned by foreign companies. So maybe it's Aussie beers that are exempt.
It's a great call. I think there's many ideas here on what we can do to change it, but I actually like that one. That can work well.
It's good. And you know, we've got an independent brewers association that does represent around 600 brewers across Australia. So it is a big portion of the economy. There's small businesses supporting local communities, contributing back to those communities. And right now they're hurting, they're massively hurting. You've not only got cost of living on one side driving consumer spend down, you've got increased costs across the board, excise being one of them. We think it's time for a change. We think it's un-Australian. You can't enjoy a beer in a pub anymore.
Agree with that.
Yeah, I think they need to renew it.
I can still enjoy the beer, but it would taste better if it didn't have the tax on it, especially if it's Aussie owned.
cheaper.
Wallet.
Good on you guys. I keep fighting the good fight. Love your beer.
Thanks for joining us today. Hey there, Today fans. Sarah and...
What's my name again?
Oh my goodness, Carl.
Hey, thanks for watching our YouTube channel, though. Subscribe now for more news, special reports, and amazing Aussie stories.
And Carl misbehaving,
Whoa,
of course.
that never happens.
Always happens.
What's she talking about?
Always